Knowing when to hold your peace, keeping your mouth shut. Silence, in most cases, is key. Man, I got so many stories about holding your tongue that has saved my behind, saved my life. Sometimes you're in dire situations where if you literally make a peep, it could be your end, your termination, your unaliving. Silence is a very powerful thing. It also shows who people are in times of awareness, when you need to know who's who, and there's an issue going on or an injustice, and someone, instead of speaking on it, they choose to remain silent, and that speaks volumes in itself. I got so many stories of people who could have avoided some horrible BEATINGS's, just so many situations. Here's a perfect example. A police officer pulls you over. Naturally, most Melanites, we don't agree with them in their practices because they were invented to catch us when we ran away from the plantation. So naturally, we're going to have an attitude in most cases if we haven't done anything outside of the law. Yet sometimes we can run our mouths a little too much and turn a small problem into a lifetime problem on your record, or a physical altercation that causes you to have a lifetime of physical problems due to injuries that occurred literally from your mouth. When is it time to speak? It's 2025. I like what I'm hearing. A lot of Melanites saying that, yeah, we're not going to speak right now on certain issues. We're going to hold our tongue. Let you guys do what y'all do. Power. Man. I remember when I was 14 and I had to do a weekend at a juvenile hall, YA, in LA. I'm gonna write my auntie and ask her where that was, because I can't remember, but she came to pick me up. I remember. I wonder if she still remembers. That's gonna be funny. But yeah, so I was in there for the weekend, and I'm hella young. I'm one of the smallest guys in there. You know, there's grown dudes in there. You can stay all the way to 25. So I think I was 14 or 15. So there's grown men in there, literally. And you know, I'm just peeping shit out in the day room, tripping off of the little meals, and this lady walked me down the hall to the nurse to take my BLOOD test, and I dang near passed out. She had to walk me back to the cell. I was hella dizzy. But I remember the next day, here come the mosquitoes. I'm gonna have to take y'all out. Yeah. I remember the next day, I was in the chow hall, I was in the day room, and I had my little bag and shit, because I was only going to be there for a weekend. So in my bag, I had my good Fred oil. For those of you that remember the Jerry curls, and this older dude, he came up. He was like, he looked like he might have been in his 20s or something. And he was like, hey, what did he call me? Young bro, whatever the fuck he called me. He was like, man, you think I could use some of your good Fred oil? I was like, yeah. So I gave it to him, and I made the mistake of not watching him, but it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway. He probably would have did it in front of me. So he goes in the bathroom, he uses it, and when he brings it back, I noticed that half of it is gone, literally. And either he tried to fill it back with water, or he just left it like that. I can't really remember. So much time has passed. But I remember I was pissed off, right? Because I felt that he had punked me. And I was like, no, I can't have that, bro, because that's the rule number one. You can't, let nobody punk you when you go to jail. That's the worst thing that you could ever do. So I'm thinking, I got to fight this dude. What can I do to him? I'm thinking of ways to harm this cat. And but he's older, 9 times out of 10 he was a gang member. You know, I'm a non-affiliated, so I knew it was going to be all bad. So when he gave it to me, and I grabbed it, and I looked, I had already peeped the game. You know, I knew what had happened, and I played it off. He was like, "Thanks," or something. He walked off hella fast, and I was like, "Yeah, what?" And I remember just being so mad, but I kept my mouth closed because I knew in that situation I was not going to be a winner in any way. So once again, sometimes silence can be a power. And then I remember years later, about 4 or 5 years later, after I graduated and ended up getting incarcerated for 187, I was in the LA County, and there was a Spanish gang member from Pasadena. His name was Night Owl, and he had a tattoo on his arm, and it said, "It's better to remain silent and to appear ignorant than to open your mouth and to remove all doubts." And I remembered that tattoo all the way from 1986, 87. So yeah, silence can definitely be a power, and it can also show your true colors. It can be a strength, and it can show that you have no strength in you. Silence.